Good afternoon, hello, it's Daniel. This is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. It is Friday evening, and in my world that means only one thing. It's our Fast Friday Club Chaingang night. We're riding out to Matlock and back. It's about 30 miles of hopefully a smash fest. So I'm gonna get stuck in. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Let's go. Boys, good to see. You know it's gonna kick off when Dean's got his GoPro on his chest. Dean, you sampled it 2 weeks ago, didn't you? Attacking out of Cromford, you were straight on my wheel. You're getting that other angle tonight. Good lads, what I like to see. I will not be doing that tonight. Okay then, so we are rolling out. Here we can see Dean turning on his GoPro, clicking it onto time-lapse mode accidentally, and his whole video from tonight was about 8 seconds long. Well done, Dean. Leave YouTube into the experts. Hey, whoever the experts are. Right, so we're just rolling out. We're heading out towards Amber Gate, which is where our summer Chaingang loop starts, so we're not really on the loop properly yet. We're just trying to get into the swing of things and try and remember how to do a Chaingang, because for some people, they don't come out every week, so it might have been a few weeks since the last did one. Now, I looked at the comments on the video that I put up about this ride last time, and I had a couple about rim brake bikes and people being surprised that there's so many rim brake bikes in my group. And when I look at it through that lens and compare my group to, you know, other Chaingang videos and other cycling club videos I see on the internet, I absolutely agree. There's a lot more rim brakes here than there are on other areas, and I think it's a number of reasons. Firstly, we don't live like in London or like a super wealthy area. Obviously, I'm not going to speak to the financial situation of the people that I ride with, but a lot of people in my group will just make bikes last for ages and ages, and they're not, I don't think, like swayed by influencers or marketing or professional riders or, you know, whatever they see. They're more like just genuine bike riders, and therefore they're riding a bike that works fine. There's no need to replace it. They're not like, oh, I need to swap it for this next thing. A couple of them, you know, are a bit like that, but broadly speaking, I think that's why most riders are on rim brakes. I think I'll do a separate video on that if the lads will let me in a few weeks. So we're out of the Chaingang loop now. Here's what I'm riding. So this is my Trek Emonda ALR5. So it is disc brake, but it is an aluminium frame, and that was my way of getting onto a disc brake like road race crit bike at not a horrendous price point. It's got a mixture of SRAM Rival and Force AXS 12-speed. I bought a group set off a guy that unfortunately crashed his bike, to be honest, so it's a bit scuffed up, but it works. The wheel set are Veta Lisio Ultra 60s, so they're 60mm deep. They're quite wide. I think the external width is 30mm, the internal's 25 or 26, I think. And I've got 28mm Continental GP 5000 TT tyres on there, so it works really well. Now, the wheels obviously roll fast, and being a wider and deep wheel is exactly what modern wheels are going towards now. They're hooked as well. I don't really want to ever ride hookless if I can help it on the road. If I was starting again, I'd definitely buy some wider tyres for this, because 28mm is a bit on the narrow side now for me nowadays, but I'm going to use these tyres because they're £100 a piece, and when they're ready to be swapped, I'll put something a bit bigger on them. But yeah, that's what I'm riding tonight. I don't really notice that it's an aluminium frame, to be honest. When the tyre pressure's quite low and the road surface is that poor in places, the weight penalty of this frame is absolutely minimal, something like 150 grams heavier than the carbon equivalent, so it just makes no difference. Although the tubing profile isn't like super aero, it is supposed to be a relatively aero bike, and putting my body on an aero frame like ruins it immediately, so it almost doesn't matter at all. I've got a super narrow cockpit that I wouldn't want to ride on it all day. They're 34cm wide bars and 150mm stem. Now, that fits me really well, and it's actually quite comfy, so I'm happy that I've got that set up, and yeah, the bike performs well on this sort of ride, and this is the only really sort of riding that I do on it. Chaingangs, crit races, that's about it. We're halfway around the ride now then, so it's been not that hard up to this point. We're just coming around the roundabout in Matlock, and when we turn back, we tend to step on the gas a little bit more. It all just kicks off a bit more. Now, there is a little climb out of Cromford, which I normally try and have a bit of an attack on, but this week I wasn't planning to surge on there. I was, pretty tired, and I was thinking,
I reckon if we keep it all together on my back, keep it smooth, we can sit fast. We've got front rowers. I reckon it'd be super fast if Dean just goes on front.
Exactly as I said there, I was thinking we've got a tailwind. If we all work together, we could get a really fast time. We might get PBs on the segments or something. However, when the time actually came, this is the little climb out of Cromford, and I'm going on the overtaking line, and when I got to the front, James Saxby was on the left of me, and we were just about to crest the hill, and I just couldn't resist. Double bubble there, perfect timing in terms of I'm getting to the front when I'm just going over the top of the climb, and James Saxby's on my left, so I got the opportunity to try and drop him. like perfect. So I just nudge on a bit and just like, you know, give it a whack for 30 seconds or so and just see if I get any separation from the group. And it's like a road race narration, this, isn't it? And I do. I had 1 or 2 glances back. I saw I had a gap. That's enough for me. I just need to get my head down now and just treat this like a breakaway attempt. And well, you've got no idea what's going off behind. I know I've got some strong riders in the group behind, but I did think, well, if they're continuing to do their chain gang, they might not reel me in. If I can sit at 340 to 350 watts, surely they're not going, you know, I know what power I was doing pulling through on the way out and it was around there. So surely not everybody's doing that, and surely I can just now eke out this gap and stay away and win the club chain gang. Now, unfortunately, even though I'm doing 49, 50 k's an hour and going down a slight gradient and got a tailwind, it wasn't quite enough. The guys are obviously motivated to bring me back because, well, they'd never hear the end of it, would they, if I managed to like break away halfway around the chain gang and win the damn thing. But they were working, and I don't know if they were working together, but they were definitely surging through. I can only sort of get them in shot now, and they're quite strung out. There's a couple of gaps opening up, but it looks like they're just sort of surging across. And this is Dean on the front coming across to me, and to, you know, fair play, absolutely just blows straight past me. I had to put a big dig in to get on his wheel. So fair play, Dean. And then I think this is other Dean just coming behind me, and he does sit behind me. I do sort of sit up and make him go in front so that I get a bit more draft. A bit further around the route then now. This is near the end of the loop, so this is one of the last times where you can try and break away. There's an S-bend and a slight uphill. Again, James Saxby on my wheel. I love to try and drop this guy, so here we go. I come out the corner, I'm on the front, I'll just give it a nudge and just see what happens. Obviously I can't see behind me, but see, you know, Saxby's got absolutely no interest in trying to chase me there. But watch this, I'm doing 550 odd watts and Dean is closing the gap like it's nothing. I mean, like, yeah, he's closing it at not a rapid pace, but definitely faster than me. And it's only 2%. But Adam absolutely comes past like a steam train. And then other Dean now closing the gap to me. I love this. This is proper, like, good race preparation. It rides a bit more like a crit race, just chasing each other and just having a bit of fun. I know it's not an out-and-out chain gang at this point, but because we're near the end, it doesn't matter too much. This is right near the end. We do have a sprint for a town sign. Dean on the Giant has already broken away, so he's ahead, and Phil and I neither of us like committed to working together, so Dean rode off into the distance. Phil comes around me because I sat up, and I was a bit naughty really because I want to try and like win, but I'm not going to pull him to Dean, and I couldn't close the gap now. I'd gone out too much. Phil dropped the hammer and tried to drop me when he came past me, so I thought, right, fair play, like absolutely, we treat this like a race. I'm working really hard. I'm thinking, right, as soon as he lets up, I'm going to come back round him and just see if he's got any energy left, because sometimes if you just come past somebody with a bit of pace, even if you've only got 20 seconds of effort in you, if they think you're strong, they're just not going to react. So now I'm getting some good recovery. My heart rate threshold is about 155, so I'm going hard, but you know, I'm getting a good 10, 20, 30 seconds recovery. When this lorry comes past me, I look behind me, I see that there's no more cars coming, and win by any means necessary, right? So I just sprint out, and the lorry's going far faster than me, but I just get a little bit of draft from the lorry, I think, and a bit of acceleration, and then I think Phil does kick on a bit, but obviously doesn't manage to close the gap to me, and I stay away 4 seconds, so there wasn't really a sprint finish, but that was our chain gang.